winner Ryder Cup as a player and a captain, 2008, and winner of the BMW International Open, 1990 and 1992. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Good to have you in Munich. So you're coming in with this iconic car. You have seen this before?
I have seen that car before. I'm sure it was over here somewhere, but yeah, it was a nice little cushy little ride there.
You enjoyed the ride? You enjoyed the ride?
I did enjoy the ride. It was great. I got a great chauffeur here. He about stalled it there out of the gate. Actually, we went in reverse first before we went forward. Other than the Open Championship, the first European Tour event that I ever played was the BMW International Open. And I remember coming over here and winning the event. And of course, David Faraday alludes to this, and when I did his show recently. And but it's just I'm just really proud to have come over here and been a part of BMW and they're really getting involved in the game of golf. To have such an iconic brand, have a FedEx Cup event on the PGA Tour, and to watch this event grow has been, it's nice. And I'm real happy for BMW and your involvement in sport in general, but your participation in the game of golf is fantastic. And on behalf of all the players, we can't thank you enough for being involved in golf. Tiger has helped grow the game so much, but the roots, were laid long before Tiger Woods. And I'm just glad that BMW chose the sport of golf as something that they would want to be involved in. So.
Okay, you're coming here to Munich, 1990, and you talked some words about David Faraday and you, and it was a very special tournament, huh?
Well, it was, and David was the defending champion in 1990. He won the inaugural event, and he did shoot 62 the first day. I remember shooting 63 the first day, and we had kind of gone neck and neck throughout the whole event. There's a good look, but I had hit a tee shot. I actually really didn't remember it that well, but David reminded me that I had duck hooked it essentially out of bounds on 18, but I hit a fella right in top of the head, and the ball came back inbounds, and I ended up making birdie on the hole and tying David and beating him in a playoff.
But you're friends as well.
Yeah, we're friends, but I was lucky. It's interesting talking to Keith or listening to Keith talk about technology and how much things have changed. That year, Davis Love, is either that year or 2 years later, Davis was in the event, and I had brought a putter over that was too upright for me. The lie angle, the toe was up in the air, and I was kind of messing around with it, and I was having trouble with it, and Davis says, "What's the problem?" And I said, "Well, it's just too upright." And back then, there was no place to go change loft and lie, and I did used to drop my golf ball through that ring as well, and you're right, 50% of the balls wouldn't fit, and you'd pitch them. So Davis says, "Well, I'll bend it for you." And I thought he was going to go off into the clubhouse. He walked over to a tree and just clobbered my club against the tree and brought it back to me, and it was perfect. And I ended up winning the tournament that year.
These were the days.
These were the days. And, now you've got high-speed film, and you can check the loft on a putt and how the ball reacts. It's a completely different game.
So you have a lot of memories to Munich of the BMW International Open?
I do. And, the second year that I won the tournament, I finished 4th or 5th in 91 as defending champion, and the next time I won in a 5-way playoff. Bernhard Langer was in that playoff. There's a little history here. I was lucky here, but I enjoyed it. I remember also we stayed at it was the Hilton Hotel down there with the garden. My girls were really small, young girls, and to this day they'll never forget this, but they were walking out of the hotel around the back door by the swimming pool area to go outside and enjoy the park or whatever it was, and a naked man came walking right by him. So it was a real eye-opener for him. Anyway.
So we have...
we digress.
So we have a lot of big events in Munich, BMW International Open, and, the Oktoberfest.
Oh, yeah, I participated.
It was in the same time. You've been there.
Well, I was hanging around Payne Stewart a lot, so of course we were at the Oktoberfest and with David Faraday as well. We always partook and enjoyed that. It's great.
You're dancing on the tables?
I didn't dance on the table. Payne Stewart would dance on the table, though. And nobody knew who he was, because when he wasn't in his knickers, nobody recognized Payne Stewart. He had it figured out.
Very good.
Yeah.
You had a very good time. You 3 times. You've played 3 times. No, 4 times.
4 times. I also played in '96 when we had the big rain out. Only played 2 days that year, and boy, the weather was just terrible that year. But we hosted a clinic. Some of the Americans. I'm not sure if Payne was part of that or not, or Davis Love, but we hosted a clinic that year for what gallery was able to show up on Saturday because everybody felt so bad the event was going to be washed out, and it actually worked out okay.
But having you here, I've told a living legend. You won the Ryder Cup 2008 as captain for the US team for a long time, and we proud, we Europeans, a long time ago. US team won. What did you to the Americans winning the Ryder Cup 2008?
Well, that's probably my proudest moment in golf was to win the Ryder Cup, more so than winning a major championship and all that, and slightly ahead of winning the BMW, just slightly ahead. But truly, it was a great moment for me, and I guess the American Tour needed to win the Ryder Cup at that time. We had only won 3 times in 25 years going into that match, and we haven't won since. And I revamped the whole selection process, completely changed it. I took this kind of outside-the-box approach to team building where I took the large group of 12 players and created 3 small groups of 4 and got them to bond and sell out amongst each other. And, we had kind of a hashtag group of players, Boo Weekley, the redneck, and Kentucky boys with J.B. Holmes and Kenny Perry. And we were heavy underdogs going in, and those guys really bonded and played terrific golf, so it was fun to watch. And it was a great moment for me to be a part of that whole surrounding myself with people that could help me and watching this idea all kind of come together and come to fruition. These guys became a family that week. Europe, it seems like it's a razor-thin edge, really, winning and losing Ryder Cups. And in 04 and 06, we lost by 9 points each of those 2 years. The revamping of the selection process has made it close. And we went in 2008. We're only a putt away from retaining the cup in 2010. And, of course, you guys in Europe had the great comeback at Medina last year. But I think that intangible is something that Europe has naturally, that everybody's bonded. The Spaniards are partners in Ryder Cup, and the Scotsmen and the Irish are partners, and you have that small group, and you're bonded by blood, and that just seems to be that intangible that always pushes Europe to that winning edge. Even if Europe doesn't come with the best team, there's just something. It's in your heart, it's in your blood, it's in our head, it's in our mind. We think about it, we want to win. It's your passion. And I believe that's the edge that Europe has on us in Ryder Cup.
Looking forward, what will happen in the next Ryder Cups? You make a prediction?
America's going to have I believe, a tough time winning in Scotland. McGinley would be a terrific choice as a captain, as is Tom Watson, a great choice. But to go over there and win, I believe, will be a daunting task. And again, I believe that razor-thin line it just seems to favor Europe for whatever reason. And on home soil, it's even that much greater, I believe.
You're talking about home soil. Is it very hard for coming for the US guys to Europe and winning in Europe? You won 2 times in Munich here as well. Is it much harder to win it on the European Tour?
I think it is more difficult for an American to come this direction and deal with jet lag and having to sleep on a plane and maybe getting, it's an 8-hour flight, so you're going to get 4 to 6 hours of sleep probably at the most. And there is a bit of an adjustment period. Some are better at it than others. Some come over on private planes, and it's pretty easy for them, I think. But the jet lag will be an issue for American team at Ryder Cup. And, not only that, but Europe picks courses that they play events on. And I think that's a little bit of an edge as well. Hole locations, a bit of an advantage. And, you think about Ryder Cups in America, we play courses that we never play. Valhalla, we don't play Valhalla. We play a major there once in a while. We don't play Medina. We play a major there once in a while. But you end up at the Belfry, or you end up at, where is it? At Glen Eagles, and you have tour events there, so you have a little bit of that home edge. And America better start exploiting their advantage when they get it, or the tide will never turn.
So we'll see.
We will see.
Will we see you again in Munich? You played 4 times. Will we see 5th time at the 25th BMW International Open?
I don't know. I haven't played much competitive golf. I would like to do it. I work a little bit for ESPN. I broadcast 3 events for them. I've done the Open Championship for ABC and ESPN since 2005 every year as the analyst, and that's my big event. But I haven't really played much, so I'm actually contemplating making some kind of a comeback. Maybe I should do a reality show or something. That would be good. I don't know. Yeah.
Starting in Munich, yeah. Starting in June in Munich.
So we'll see what happens.
Okay. Thank you very much. We see you golfing in a few minutes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
It works.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Ball, you ready? Ball, you fine? It's okay? Ah, jetzt. Da haben wir natürlich auch noch... Oh! Wow! Paul Azinger, den ersten und den bringt er gleich rein. So einen Chip in so ein Auto macht man auch nicht alle Tage. And the second one. Oh! War ein kurzer Naturbrett. Aber das ist damals noch gut verarbeitet worden, kein Plastik.
Ja. Hey.
Yes! Jawohl! Da macht er gleich noch ein 3-mal verabredet, einen macht er noch.
Jetzt wird's ja grün.
Hier geht es ja zu wie an manchen Parkplatz in den Golfclubs.
Das ist nicht optimal.
Okay, meine Damen und Herren, Paul Azinger mit einem kleinen Special Pitch hier im BMW-Museum.
Sieht relativ gut aus.